this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul, Amadeus Lane in the tech zone. Welcome to the tech zone. We on our tech flow, and there's still a global market in case you didn't know. So many guests, we not trying to impress. Just want to pass off the info. You can do the rest. See, there's no escaping tech. It's part of our lives. Keep every individual connected worldwide. But all this innovation is more than entertainment. It's people like you paving a new way every day. So let your imagination run wild with all the things that you dream about. Cause the tech zone is on now with Paul Amadeus Lane. Blah. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone.
ABC News Radio, iHeartRadio, YouTube, live stream. However you are listening today, we welcome you to this edition of the Tech Zone. I am your host, Paul Amadeus Lane, and thank you guys so much for joining me today. On today's show, we're going to talk about data hubs. We're going to talk about the new revolution when it comes to social media and how video is being integrated on upcoming segments of the show. But on our first segment right here, I want to make sure to share with you something that is going to affect you and I, and even some of our viewers and listeners who are watching worldwide too. This is going to affect you. We know earlier this week, President Trump was talking about an additional $200 billion in tariffs when it comes to China. And some people out there, yeah, let's do this. Let's get tough with China. What is the effect it's going to have on you and I? Now, we've heard the term fake news before. Don't believe what you hear. Don't believe what you see. But I'm going to keep it 100 with you. This is something right here you definitely want to take notice of because it's going to affect you and I. And I decided to ask some of my friends over at the Consumer Technology Association to help me to explain this a lot better than I can. And I'm so happy that they accepted my invitation. So let's get it going. And I'm so happy to have with me right now someone I've known for several years. She is so informative when it comes to the consumer technology field and what's going on out there. And I wanted to have her on to talk about what's going on with the tariffs that's soon to take effect on Monday. So joining me right now is the wonderful Izzy Santa. Izzy is the Director of Strategic Communications over at the CTA. Izzy, welcome, my friend. How are you?
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Izzy,
how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Well, I was doing great before these new tariffs, but yeah, you got to help me. Yeah. You'll talk me off the cliff or help me out a little bit. But Izzy, when we look at how this has affected the technology field, how much damage is being done?
Well, we have to start with the simple facts that tariffs are taxes. They hurt consumers in the fact that they raise prices. They hurt workers in the fact that the increases in cost that businesses have may force some layoffs. And overall, it hurts innovation. So the triple effect is devastating to GDP, and at a time when we're at full employment, it really starts shaking things out. So to explain to folks what happened, President Trump announced 10% and 25% tariffs on $200 billion worth of Chinese goods. From starting on Monday to January 1st, the products are going to be taxed at 10%. Then after that, next year, starting on January 1st, they're going to be taxed at 25%. So the damage is going to keep increasing over time. And this is very dangerous because we're talking about slowing down innovation, hiring, and hurting people's pocketbooks at a time when they're going to go shopping for the holidays.
And you know what, Izzy, what's kind of shocking all of us in the tech world, because we, when this administration came into power, we thought, okay, this is really going to unleash a lot of innovation out there because we won't see a lot of taxes out there. but there's been a little change and a shift. And has that kind of shocked people out there that we're starting to get taxes from this type of administration?
The fact that we're talking about taxing routers and motors and streaming devices where, we stream our content to our 4K TVs, that's not the right approach. That doesn't help us as consumers. We work hard, we play hard, and we want to just enjoy things at a reasonable cost and at affordable prices. And to suggest that taxing those items is going to change China's behavior doesn't make any sense. There are other ways that we can go about to change the relationship between the U.S. and China. And so right now, our industry is looking at having the cost of things go up approximately for printed circuit assemblies, for example, the part that goes into a lot of electronics, it's going to cost up to $2.4 billion more. And GDP could be reduced by as much as $3 billion a year. So we're talking about very large numbers, and it's not the right approach. And we urge the administration to change their misguided initiative that they have when it comes to trade.
And I know here in California, it's really affected and going to affect a lot of our industry out here. You have Silicon Valley. You have in Southern California, Long Beach, California, they have a lot of tech startups out there now doing some things, and other parts of the state right here. Now, are there other parts of the industry that maybe was spared a little bit? What about cell phone and smartwatches? Because we're getting some stories about how they weren't hit as hard, but the companies who make them, they're still going to be hit by these tariffs. Is that true?
So let's talk about the products. When it comes to smartwatches, fitness trackers, smart speakers, any type of Bluetooth-enabled device, those were spared from the list. Originally, they were going to be taxed. Smartphones were never in danger of hitting a tariff. However, you have things like streaming devices that are on the list. And for, there are about two-thirds of Americans that have broadband access. So that means that two-thirds of the population that have broadband access are going to have and experience higher costs, not only with their products, but accessing the connectivity and the internet. And let me explain that. So when the administration is out to tax network equipments, routers, modems, and these are the items that power data centers, cloud computing, you need these things in order for us to access quickly and download content on the internet. They're facing higher costs, and those costs are going to be passed down to consumers. So consumers are going to have a service charge increase, plus if they want to buy a new product, they're also going to face higher prices. So they're going to feel a double blow, not just once, but twice.
Wow. So the little money that we got with raises and everything are kind of going to go pay for these prices now since they go up a little bit, right?
All the prices will increase, sadly.
And Izzy, when it comes to what this will do to raising the price, what do you think is going to do to the market out there? Do you think as consumers now we're going to scale down some, or we are so addicted and dependent on these devices, if something goes down, we're going to have to buy and get a new one because just connected homes, routers, network. How do you see this playing out?
Well, it's not just, let's talk about it holistically. There are thousands and thousands of products that will be taxed. And we're talking about everything from a product that a farmer uses to grow their crops, to a connected device that you and I may use in our homes, to simple things that we might buy in our retail stores that we need for our children. Thankfully, toys aren't on the list yet, but if you're thinking about other things that are common day goods that you use, those are going to be tariffed. They're going to have a tax. Consumers will have hidden taxes in their receipts, so they may not notice in the prices. But the fact is that we're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars. Thousands and thousands of products. Remember, we're also doing tax increases when it comes to aluminum steel. And we had Secretary Wilbur Ross say that canned soup, beer, kegs, all of those things are going to be tariffed. So exponentially, every transaction that we do for products will face higher costs.
I'm not optimistic. You know what I mean? I am really just stunned by the impact this is going to have just on our pocketbooks, on the industry. Some of the gains that we made, I'm afraid are going to be, I think, going to be lost. And Izzy, when we look at, as consumers, what can we do to kind of push back and say, whoa, wait a minute, this is really going to hurt us. We're not going to have enough money to spend. Even the businesses out there, business can be like, wait a minute, we can't hire XYZ because we got to pay ABC. So what can we do out there to help the cause, to really beat the drum and say, wait a minute, this is going a little bit too far?
Consumers should reach out to their legislators and explain to them how this impacts their bottom line, and businesses should do the same. And the people that are in California that are in the tech sector, this really hurts. It's for us, what we call it is an internet tax, because again, once you start taxing modems and routers and the other components that go into these data centers, you're talking about slowing down the next generation of broadband. So we're talking about delaying 5G. We're talking about slowing down the rollouts of smart cities. Once prices increase and the cost increases for wireless infrastructure, we are delaying our goals to be the leader in 5G. And we've essentially given China an upper hand, which is contradictory to what the administration wants to do. So this is the time for both consumers and businesses to go out and discuss and inform with other partners what this means to them, and also reach out to the legislators and tell them that we need to stop the trade war with China. And
what I like about this too is this is not a partisan issue. This is just an issue that affects each and every one of us, no matter if we black, brown, purple, green, whatever color we are, whatever race, religion that we are, it's affecting all of us. And you talked about, and you mentioned this early on in our discussion, about trying to get China to change their ways, and this is not a way to do so. Why do you think this is not effective and China won't flinch?
Well, we already tried this once. Actually, we tried it a couple of times. We tried it first in the 1930s when we started a trade war and we taxed over 50% of the economy, and that's what agitated the Great Depression. And then we did it again under George W. Bush, and that didn't work out. And we destroyed millions of jobs when he went after steel. So this type of model doesn't succeed. It leads to layoffs, it leads to higher prices, and it's a tax on everybody. And it's a tax on innovation, creativity, and the economy. And the fact that we are having a booming stock market, we're hitting full employment, this is the time to grow and make sure we have a safety net to make sure that when the business cycle goes down, we have that safety net. Right now, what we're doing is that we're plummeting that because we're saying we're doing so well with our economy and we're willing to take a little bit of risk on a bet. This is a bet. This is a gamble to see if China changes their behavior. And I don't think that's the right approach. Our livelihoods and the livelihoods of startups, especially in small businesses that are trying to grow their business, should not be put at risk, not with this type of gamble at place.
I totally agree. And Izzy, we know that your organization has not only a domestic reach, but a global reach. What has been some of the, I guess, feedback or the chatter that we've gotten from our friends internationally about this trade war?
Well, every nation is concerned that we might do this with them. They're concerned of initiating contracts with American businesses because they just don't know what it's going to cost them. Right now with China, we're seeing that there's a lot of tension going on. And there was a study that we did at CTA for printed circuit boards, and we found out that American manufacturers will buy between 6 to 12% less of imported Chinese printed circuit assemblies, which essentially are the meat that goes inside of all of our products to function. And it turns out that now American companies are going to buy less. So that means that that's less work. They may need to cut their labor force and prices will go up on top of that. So it's not the right approach to encourage a small business to say hire more, do more in the U.S., manufacture in the U.S., because it's just not going to happen. Not like this.
Izzy, thank you so much for sharing that with us, because this is serious. This is real talk, as we say in the hood. This is like This is going to impact a lot of people. Izzy, before I let you go, is there anything else you'd like to articulate about the trade war that we haven't been able to cover thus far?
All you have to remember is that tariffs are taxes on consumers. They hurt jobs and the economy.
Well said, Izzy. And we'd love to have you back on again as we get closer and closer. We know that the CES is coming up in January, so I would love to check on in to see how we're doing with the progress of things, so with the tariffs, and see if we, and the taxes, see how the progress is of us raising our voices and letting the elected leaders know that this just ain't cool. This is not cool. It's messing with our bottom line, and it's really impacting businesses as well. Always great to catch up with you.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to thank Izzy Santa for joining me and opening up and talking about what these tariffs are going to mean to you, to me, to all the industries out there. And remember that raise that you got in your 401k? Remember all that? Yeah, these tariffs might take that all away. You ready, folks? But always keep up with the latest of what's going on in the tech industry. Friends over at CTA at cta.tech. You can be kept up to date on a lot of things that are going on that's going to affect you and I. All right, when we get back, let's talk about data hubs. We're going to explain what they are and how this one company is using their innovation to help you out. You'll be able to see if you can use data hubs in your business or your industries. Be right back after these messages.
In this world of technology, things are ever changing, rearranging. You need someone to help you out. I know someone who can. Come and take a journey with me as we go through the land of technology. You'll never be alone. You'll be with Paul Amadeus Lane in the tech zone.